Do you know when you're being lied to? I mean, there's a lot of jokes around, common lies that you should figure out they're probably lies, like the check's in the mail, or I'm from the government, I'm here to help. And I'm sure there's a few others. But how do you identify the lies you tell yourself? I mean, we all lie to ourselves in different ways. And part of what makes that tricky is we don't recognize the lie as an untruth. The lies that we tell ourselves seem like true to us. And I want to look at a couple of the most common ones that I know I fall into, and when I'm working with people, training, coaching, I hear quite often. The first one is, I don't have enough time. Now, we all have the same amount of time in a day. People that accomplish incredibly magnificent, great things have the exact same amount of time as somebody who feels very stuck and overwhelmed in their life. So what if it wasn't about the amount of time you had or didn't have? What if the lie was about the time and the truth was about how you're choosing to spend the time that you do have, and how much time gets wasted or siphoned off or invested in other conversations or other endeavors that undermine your goals, your purpose, the things you're excited about, the things that you're passionate about. What would it look like to say no when you need to say no, so that there's more yes available for the parts of your life that are compelling and exciting and thrilling to you? And what would it be like if you could accomplish twice as much in half the amount of time? Now, if that sounds interesting to you, check us out at Novus Global. That is what we specialize in, along with several other things. The second lie that I hear quite often is, I'm not good enough. The problem with that lie is that we can always find lots of evidence to make that one true. We look at certain very specific niche situations, abilities, and say, well, I'm not good enough for this, and I'm not good enough for that. And oftentimes what that means is I'm comparing myself to someone else that has a different background or different training, different abilities, and I'm labeling myself as not good enough. Or maybe there's just the general, I'm not good enough, period, in life as a human being. And we know that's a lie because the stories that surround it are all circumstantial. There's no actual evidence that you can find that will validate the story that you're not good enough. There's a lot of anecdotes, there's a lot of feelings, but there's no evidence, there's no objective truth that you could point to say this is the case. That's why it's an untruth. It's an untruth and you can't prove it. But the more that you invest in it, the more you prove it to yourself through your actions and inactions. That specific lie will prevent you from challenging yourself, from taking risks, from trying new things. That lie will undermine the beauty and value of feedback when you receive it. If you're stuck in that lie, pay attention. You might be also stuck in some perfectionism. My third favorite lie we tell ourselves, and we also tell others, is I'm fine. People ask, how are you doing? Or maybe we're just listening to ourselves in our head and we're saying, no, I'm fine, I got this, I'm fine. What does that mean when we say it? If someone asks and we say I'm fine when we're actually not fine, does that mean I don't trust you? Does that mean I'm not aware of my emotions or my state in a way that I could authentically share it with you? Does that mean I'm withholding from you because I don't want to look at what's actually happening? And what does it mean when you tell yourself, you're fine? This is how it sounds in my head. Something's going on, I'm sad, I don't like it, I feel rejected, frustrated, and I tell myself, you're fine, Jean, you're fine, just keep going. And yeah, there's a value in continuing to move through life and designifying certain things. And there's also a value in recognizing where you're at and what is happening for you. And how can whatever is happening, whether it is sorrow or grief or frustration, how can acknowledging that be a resource, be something that adds to your life instead of something that you need to cover up or hide or run away from. And my fourth favorite lie is, that's just the way I am. That is just the way I am. And I believe it's becoming more and more popular as we are investing as a culture more and more into personality tests. It creates a very specific dynamic, and it's easy to glom onto whatever the test says about who you are. And it's easy to make that your identity instead of, hey, this is just maybe my preference, or this happens to be a default for me. If I'm an Enneagram 8, and that's just the way I am, that gives me permission to do and not do certain things. Maybe behave in a way that is more comfortable to me, or a way that I'm more familiar with or more used to. It could be your horoscope. I'm a Leo, so fill in the blank. Well, let me explain. I'm a Gemini, so there's a couple things going on here. If I'm saying that's just the way I am, it's a lie, because that implies I have no agency over my defaults or my preferences, when in fact we do have agency. And exercising and recognizing that agency is one of the hallmarks of mental health and stability. And we need to be able to tease apart our preferences and our defaults, or what we're most familiar with what's actually possible. If we can look at situations in our lives and say, what is needed here? Who do I need to be in this situation to have my vision fully expressed, to have things turn out the way that I see possible? We're going to need to let go of the lie, it's just the way I am. The other piece to that lie is it also lets other people know they need to change to be with me because, hey, this is just the way I am. The fifth favorite lie is I'm too fill in the blank. I'm too old. I'm too young. I'm too much. I can't tell you how many conversations I've had with people that their story around why they hold back or why they don't use their voice is, well, I've been told I'm too much. What does that mean? Too much what? What underpins the lie, I'm too much? Does that mean you talk too much? And what is too much? Does that ring true for you? That there is a scenario where the fullness of your being in a situation, in a relationship, in a context where you're there to give, to create, would somehow be overabundant? That doesn't even make any sense. What does this lie produce? I'm too fill in the blank. So many people, I'm too old or I'm too young. Based on what? People do incredible things at all ages. We adopt these lies on a premise that we haven't even examined. And all of these lies keep us quiet. They keep us silent. They keep us holding back and unwilling to challenge ourselves or take risks or grow or learn. At the end of the day, the lies become true because we made them true, not because they're objectively true. The last one we're going to look at that is really common is, well, I don't have a choice, or I didn't have a choice. Now, I know we don't pick all the circumstances in our lives. However, we do always get to pick the way we relate to those circumstances, the attitude we bring to the circumstance. So we do always have a choice. It might not be all the choices that you would like to have, but I guarantee you, if you exercise the choice of how you're relating to the circumstances, the attitude you're bringing, the energy you're bringing, if you master those choices, then there'll be a lot of other choices that open up for you, even in the middle of the most challenging and painful and difficult circumstances. For example, if you follow me, you're probably aware that I had a battle with cancer last year. And did I have a choice in getting cancer? I mean, there could have been some things I did or didn't do that I'm not aware of, although I'm very diligently still exploring. But what I did always have the choice about was how I related to it, what I made it mean about me, about what was possible. I could choose to get up in the morning and exercise. I could choose the way I ate and what I ate and how much I ate. I could choose to share with people, to be with people. I mean, some days I chose to be frustrated or sad, angry. Sometimes those were important choices. I needed to grieve or I needed to express anger in those moments. And I would say no matter what circumstance you're in, you've got lots of choices about the way you relate to the circumstance and who you decide to be in those circumstances. And to me, that's the best choice ever. That's the most powerful choice ever. And that is really true agency, when we give ourselves permission to choose who we're going to be in any given set of circumstance. So don't buy into the lies. If you'd like more on the I'm not enough perfectionism dynamic, check out my video. Perfectionism is killer. If this was valuable for you, if you recognized yourself in some of these lies, like, subscribe, give me a comment. I'd love to hear from you.